One huge difference between selling single-family properties and multifamily properties that I've seen in my experience is terms. Terms usually mean a lot more when you're selling a multifamily property compared to selling a single family property. So an example that I could use is a deal that I have now, and we have the property listed for say $1 million, and usually the person who's willing to pay the most for the property is someone that's going to move into the property. They're going to occupy one of the units and they're going to rent out another unit. That usually comes with a mortgage. Sometimes the terms of that mortgage or the finances of that buyer coming in are not as good as someone that's an investor. Usually the investors do come in lower, but they usually drop a lot of the contingencies and they don't ask the house to be vacant. In this situation, the investor that's lower is willing to keep the tenant upstairs as long as they, agree to pay a little bit more rent. They didn't do an inspection on property. They're paying cash, no contingencies, and they're not doing an inspection on the property. So those are a lot of terms that I think come into play on multifamily that don't necessarily come into play on the single family as much. On a single family house, you're usually used to having a mortgage deal. You just kind of go through the motions and usually have a couple different options. With the multifamily, you do get a lot of investors that come in. I found that usually the owners would love to take the higher price, but they realize that the difference in the spread between the investor and the end user is usually a minuscule amount or a small amount that's not worth the risk.